Hi friends, welcome to JK Creative Minds, and in today's class we are going to see about agriculture, geography of class 10. First, before getting into agriculture, let's discuss about agriculture. What do we mean by agriculture? In agriculture, we sow the seeds, we irrigate the land, and we throw or fertilize the land, and we harvest it. Many of them know this is agriculture, but agriculture is beyond this. Let us see what is it. First, first of all, it is an agriculture is an primary activity. Agriculture is an primary activity. What do you mean by primary activity? Primary activity means it is an what can we say? It is an um, activity that is there are three types of economic activities. We can say economic activities. There are three types of economic activities. Those are primary activities, secondary activity, and tertiary activity. First we'll get in into primary activity. Primary activity are the producers of raw materials, and secondary activity is the section where these raw materials are made into a useful substances. And let's get into a tertiary activity. Tertiary activity gives protection or does some helpful things to this primary and secondary activity. So agriculture is an primary activity, and two-thirds of the India's population is engaged in agricultural activities. Yeah, India has a vast population, and in that vast population, two-thirds of the India's population is engaged in agricultural activities. In agriculture, we receive food and raw materials to the industries that is useful for the industries. There are three types of farming. Those are primitive subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming, and commercial farming. First, let's study about primitive subsistence farming. Primitive subsistence farming. What do you mean by this? See. Let's see. Primitive subsistence farming is practiced on a small patches of land with the help of primitive tools. Underline the point, primitive tools. Primitive means old, so old tools. What are those old tools? Like hoe, dough, and digging sticks. This means that the farmer following this type of farming will have a small patch of land, and he will farm in the small patch of land using primitive tools like hoe, dough, and digging sticks. And another important thing is the farmer using this type of farming method will not allow any other persons. He'll allow only his family members or community labor to work in his land. And this type of farming depends on monsoon, natural fertility of the soil, suitability of other environmental conditions. These three are the factors in which the this type of farming is dependent. And this type of farming has another name, that is slash and burn agriculture. That is, primitive subsistence farming is also called as slash and burn agriculture. What do you mean by slash and burn agriculture? Do anyone know? Okay, it is a good, or it is a method of cultivation in which forests are burned and cleared for planting purposes. This means the farmer using this slash and burn agriculture will burn the forest and use the vast land for farming. And once the fertility of the soil loses, and he will leave the land and he will move on to the next forest. And this type of primitive subsistence farming is called as jamming in northeastern states. This type of that is the type of primitive subsistence farming is called dash in northeastern states, jamming. Yeah, very And our next topic is intensive subsistence farming. In this type of farming, the farmer cultivates a small plot of land using simple tools and more labor. This means that the farmer using this type of method of farming will have a small plot, and he in that small plot he will farm by using more labor and simple tools. A farmer using more labor and a simple tools to farm is known as intensive subsistence farming. This type of farming is done for only the local consumption, because in this type of farming they can produce a small amount of yield, so they can provide only for the local consumption. And our last topic of this session is commercial farming. This type of this type of farming is done only for the commercial purposes. That is, the crops grown in this type of farming is only used for selling purposes, that to make money. And to get the higher yield, the farmers will use HYV seeds, that is high yield variety seeds. If we sow a normal seed, we'll get 10% of production. But at the same time, if we sow a HYV seed, that is HYV seeds, that is high wait a minute yeah that is HIGH high YIELD high yield variety seeds. This is the spelling. And a normal seed and a HYV seed. This is a normal seed and a HYV seed. In this we get only a 10% of the production, but as well as in HYV seeds we get 100% of the yield. Do anyone understand? Yes. Let's finish this topic. And an example of commercial farming, or the main area where the rice is produced, or in main area where the rice is in commercial plant, is Haryana and Punjab. Haryana and Punjab is the place where the commercial the commercial, they in exams they may ask that the commercial plant of Haryana and Punjab are, you have to answer rice. Yes, rice. Let's finish this topic, guys. Our last topic is plantation, that is a subtopic of commercial farming. Plantation. In plantation, the farmer used to take a vast land and he used to plant one type of plant grown in a large scale is known as plantation. That is, the farmer using this type of farming will sow a single type of plant for in a long or in a vast land. That is, example, tea estates, coffee estates, etc. And Plantation is also known as commercial farming. How can you say plantation is a commercial farming? Let's see. Tea estates. We get tea from the departmental stores, but those departmental stores will get tea powder or tea leaves from the tea estates. Obviously, there is an activity in which the money is involved, so we can say that plantation is an commercial farming. Okay friends, thank you for watching my video. If you like the video, please subscribe it and share.